Hi. Last time we spoke about the three channels of communication, but we didn't really talk about them, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about what are these three channels across which communication happens, and why is it important for you to know what they are. Well, the reason it's important is that whether you realize it or not, you're being perceived across all of these three channels. And if what you're saying does not say the same thing on all three channels, if there's any disconnect between the three of them, then your communication effort is just not that effective. It's like, imagine a horse-driven cart, right? And there are three horses, and if one horse goes that way and one horse tries to go that way and the other one tries to go that way, well, the cart's not moving, it's just staying where it is, right? But in contrast, if all three horses are going in the same direction, then the cart goes forward. So the same thing with communication. All three channels have to be consistent. So what are they? Channel number one is, of course, words. What are we saying? What are we not saying? How are we saying it? How are we phrasing what we're saying? It's the verbal part of the message we're trying to deliver. And of course, most people spend most time on that, on how to say it and what they're saying, which is very important. But the other two channels are just as important in being effective in your communication. So the second channel is body language. We're human beings living in our human bodies, right? And so whether it's conscious or subconscious, we're always communicating with our bodies. And our bodies are always reacting, even if it's not in person, even across the screen right now, your body's reacting to the way my body is positioning itself and what my body is saying. So that's important. And the third level is the level of energy. Third channel is a channel of energy. Now, it's kind of tricky because a lot of people might either not really be aware of it or might not actually pay attention to it or might not think it's important, yet it's actually, I would say, perhaps the most important of the three channels. Why? Because, well, turn to your experience. I'm sure you can think of a time when somebody was saying all the right things and even doing all the right things with their body language if they're trained, but somehow in your heart, you felt something was off. It wasn't quite, something was not right? And later it would turn out that this person was either trying to manipulate you or they were not really sincere. And you're like, I knew it, right? So what is it that you knew? It's basically on an energy level, you perceived that the message was not the same as what was happening on the other two channels, right? So the energy level is very important. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna by the way, the opposite is also can also happen. For example, a person can say all the wrong words. They can be all over the place with their body language, but somehow you trusted them. Somehow you knew that what they were saying didn't really matter. You could still, on an energy level, feel that things were okay, and you trusted that person. So it can happen in either direction. But the point for you to know is that we'll dive into each one of these channels in separate videos. But for right now, just being aware of these three channels and at least knowing that they exist, and not, when you're aware, there are less chances that you'll sabotage your communication effort by not engaging any of these in the right way. Just being aware of it will help you be much more effective in your communication. So I hope this was helpful, and if it was, hit the like button so that others can find this video too, and stay tuned for more communication tips.